Before he was cast as Kylo Ren, the Star Wars universe modern villain, Adam Driver had humble beginnings in the entertainment world. Although it's hard to imagine a time before the American movie, TV, and theater performer became Hollywood's leading man in films like 2021's House of Gucci and The Last Duel, he garnered an extensive variety of lesser-known credits per IMDb. You might have first seen him as Adam Sackler, Hannah's perpetual love interest on the comedy drama series Girls, or as Kylo in the most recent Star Wars trilogy, or even as the wall-punching protagonist of your favorite Marriage Story meme. Whatever the case, one thing is clear: Adam Driver is one of the most talented and committed actors working right now, equally comfortable in a blockbuster franchise and a fascinatingly weird French rock musical. Driver's acting credits in a year would be enough to fill most artists' entire careers. He seemed to burst onto the scene fully formed, which is what piqued our curiosity about him. We decided to find out how the former Marine, best friends with Lena Dunham, became one of the most reliable names in Hollywood these days. If you're curious about him too, keep watching to discover 7 things you probably didn't know about Adam Driver. And remember, if you enjoyed this video, show your support to our channel by clicking on the like and subscribe buttons. Don't forget to hit the bell icon too. You'll receive a notification every time there's a new content available for you. We are constantly updating Fact Factory with the latest insider info on your favorite film, music, and TV stars, so you'll be glad you did. Number 7. He sang in a church choir, and he formed a fight club in his teens. Adam's childhood was already rather atypical by Hollywood standards. Born to Joe Douglas Driver and Nancy Wright in San Diego in November 1983, Adam moved to his mom's hometown of Mishawaka in Indiana when he was 7. With his stepfather, Rodney G. Wright, being a minister at a Baptist church, the future star actor spent a few of his early years singing in the choir. Nevertheless, don't let that fool you into thinking that Driver was a goody two-shoes. Quite the opposite. In interviews, he has described himself as a young misfit. Instead of joining any extracurricular activities, he usually entertained himself by riding his bike for hours, climbing water towers, and starting a few fires in vacant lots. Fittingly, for a brooding teenager, Adam was inspired by David Fincher's film adaptation of Fight Club. In his high school years, he set one up for himself and his classmates, who would fight each other in a field of grass in the middle of the night. Fortunately, he established a few ground rules, mainly concerning a specific body part that was off limits. We don't remember that rule from the original Fight Club, but we'd agree that it was a worthy addition to the list. Number 6. A minister stepfather, firm hand education, and the telemarketer job. Being the stepson of a Baptist minister meant that Driver's most reckless impulses had to be countered with some discipline. Both his stepfather and his mom made sure that he valued hard work and commitment, so they made him pay $200 a month in rent. Although we would have probably protested at our parents if they'd done that, it seemed to do the trick. Adam took a few odd jobs to support himself and got a bit more responsible in the process. As a rent-paying young man, Driver worked as a door-to-door salesman, and he also had a brief stint as a telemarketer for a waterproofing business. It's maybe hard to picture Kylo Ren himself selling you waterproofing appliances, but then we'd probably be more willing to buy any product if Driver wanted us to. Number 5. He served in the Marines and should have been deployed to Iraq. The firm hand education Adam Driver received seemed to instill a deep sense of responsibility in him. When he was 18, he was so deeply affected by the 9/11 attack that he decided to join the U.S. Marines. He spent the next 2 years training in Camp Pendleton in California and specialized in operating machine guns and other firing devices. Although he had never been much of a sports guy, he found it easy to adapt to his new surroundings and enjoyed the camaraderie. However, he had to quit the Corps before he was deployed in Iraq. He broke his sternum in a mountain bike accident and was discharged on medical grounds. Despite his brief military career, Driver is still close friends with his Marine buddies And he says his experience as a soldier has affected his process as an actor. Even after his on-screen success, he keeps dedicating some of his time to help soldiers through charity work. Only a few years after his medical discharge, he started a non-profit called Arts in the Armed Forces, which uses the crafts to entertain, honor, and inspire military members and their families. Number 4. He intimidated his classmates at Juilliard and was on Law & Order. Being forced to leave the Marines led Adam Driver to a bit of an identity crisis, and he felt he had to prove his worth in some other way. Shortly after quitting the armed forces, he enrolled in the prestigious Juilliard School of Drama in New York. He studied there from 2005 until 2009, and he used his spare time to attend auditions. Some of his first acting credits include police procedurals like The Usuals and Law & Order. Of course, adjusting to drama school after being a Marine for 2 years was bound to be a bit difficult. According to himself, Driver got a bit too intense during his first term at Juilliard. His classmates found him intimidating, and he confessed to making some of them cry because that's how he was used to talking to people. Fortunately, he managed to calm down after a while. We wouldn't want a 6'2" ex-Marine yelling at us during improv lessons either. Number 3. He moved to LA for 2 days, his most embarrassing journey. Adam Driver managed to graduate from Juilliard, but he wasn't accepted on the first try. Before he had even enlisted in the Marines, he had already auditioned for the prestigious Performing Arts Conservatory, but he had been rejected. Still a few months away from learning military discipline, he decided to try the unconventional route to stardom, moving to LA and hanging out until someone offered him a juicy part. However, that trip ended quite briefly. After bidding his friends and family goodbye, thinking he was on the road to fame and fortune, his car broke down in Texas. He spent all his money shortly after getting to California, and only 4 days later, he was already back in Indiana. The actor recalls his journey as pretty embarrassing. Luckily, it didn't deter him from trying again a few years later. Number 2. His wife, his soulmate, and stylist helped him to readjust to civilian life. Driver's time at Juilliard proved fruitful in more ways than one. Besides helping him become the outstanding actor he is right now, he was also lucky enough to find his soulmate there. Driver met Joanne Tucker in an acting class, and they became inseparable after that. They married in 2013, 4 years after graduating. Although Driver is usually extremely reserved about personal matters, he has spoken openly about his wife's role in helping him readjust to civilian life. In fact, the former Marine usually follows Tucker's recommendations regarding his outfits, and he is sad that if it weren't for her, he'd still be putting on whatever he wore when he was 15 years old. Driver's relationship with Joanne, famous for her roles in The Report, Give or Take, and American Rust, seems to be strong after nearly 9 years of marriage, and they've managed to stay away from prying eyes despite Adam's growing fame and some rumors about a romantic relationship with actress Daisy Ridley. So much so that, in fact, Driver and Tucker successfully hid the birth of their son for 2 whole years. We still don't know his name or how old he is, which is a testament to the actor's ability to keep his private life truly private. Number 1. He used to be on strict chicken-based diets and is workout obsessed. The discipline Adam Driver acquired in the military has helped him undergo severe transformations for the big screen. According to himself, one of the hardest things he ever had to do was food-related. In preparing for his role as a priest in Martin Scorsese's Silence, he had to lose 23 kilograms before shooting. Not only that, the movie showed his character being deprived of food to the point of near starvation, so he had to shed a few more during filming. If that sounds intense by any measure, it must have been particularly hard for someone like Driver. For a long time, his diet consisted of eating a whole chicken every day. After he saw what a mess that was, he switched to a similarly insane, similarly poultry-based option, eating 6 eggs daily, 4 of them without the yolk. That's pretty much in keeping with his obsessive workout routine. He hates not feeling in control and works out thoroughly every day to keep his sanity. Anybody who's seen Driver performing knows the results, but we still hope he learns to relax and let go of all that soldier-like focus. That was our countdown of the top 7 things you didn't know about Kylo Ren, aka Adam Driver. If you think something relevant might have skipped our radar, let us know right now. Show us what you've got by leaving a comment in the section below. When you're done, make sure you like this video and click on the subscribe button to show your support for this channel. Remember to hit the bell icon too, and you'll get a notification every time there's a new content available for you. Thanks for watching, and see you soon!